Well, Rangers really don't make it easy. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rebel podcast. This is, of course, your match reaction after Rangers just about beat Sparta Prague at Ibrox 2-1 to put us into a much better position than we were at the beginning of the night. It's not all signed, sealed and delivered just yet, but we have took a massive step tonight towards qualification out of the group stages of the Europa League. Hello, welcome everybody. I hope you're all well. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you don't normally, then do it. If this is your first time here, subscribe. Hello. I am joined tonight by Stu and Iain, who were on the build-up, and Connor. Connor, how are you?
Not too bad, my heart rate's just about came down after the last 20 minutes of that game, I must say, but delighted overall with the 3 points.
And Iain, the question everybody wants to know is, was it?
Yeah, bet your ass it was.
I mean, yeah, you did. To be fair, you did say any win, didn't you? You did say that.
I did say any win, and that'll do me. I mean, I've had about 3 heart attacks, but the plates calm me down.
But well, I mean, from what we know about you, then I would imagine it normally would. Stu, I think this might be a slightly different reaction to normal. Like I said, in fact, I always start with this. You know, we like to go through the game chronologic. Do you know what? We like to go through the game from start to finish, right? that word is not coming out my mouth. And then discuss some individual performances, but just the fact that we somehow managed in the end to kind of grind that out. It probably, the way the game went, shouldn't have been like that. And apart from the score, almost a carbon copy of the first game.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Obviously, listen, it wasn't close. We pretty much dominated the majority of that game, and we should have been absolutely out of sight. Obviously, Danilo has the goal disallowed. He has the one that hits the post. We're looking really good, and then all of a sudden, everyone forgot how to finish, and Danilo sliced them one wide, and Sema shanked one wide, and you're thinking, oh, here we go. And then they've scored pretty much. I mean, they had that sort of half chance on the edge of the box, but they scored their only chance pretty much. That said, as nervous as I was, we didn't really face much pressure. I thought we managed the stoppage time really, really well. No thanks to, obviously, the fans throwing the extra ball on the pitch, which somehow led to 2 extra minutes being added on when there was only a minute played at that point. I don't know what happened there. But Lawrence and Barisic and real special mention to Dessers, who I actually thought was excellent when he come on, just putting his body about, getting the ball down, keeping us in possession up the pitch, which was so vital. It was just, it's been a long time since I've said we've had real good game management, but tonight was absolute perfect.
It was. It absolutely was. And I want to actually, Connor, start off on a massive positive for a change. And it's a comment for Larry D. Sparta Prague are a decent team. They're good. They're a good team. So to take 4 points is actually very good going, and I completely agree.
Yeah, 100%. Of course it is. I think with the snatch your arm off to get 4 points out of them a few weeks ago before we'd played the first leg. So we didn't need to be doing that.
No, people already think we're related. That's just ridiculous.
Anyhow, no, I think obviously, as I say, before the first game, we'd have taken 4 points from them. We had moments in both games that could have swung it the other way, and it didn't. And they're a good side. We came off the Irish result and everything that was going on at that time, and we've come back and bagged in a few points there. Obviously, we've still got 2 games to go, so it's by no means job done. Mm-hmm. But it is exactly the kind of position we needed to put ourselves in, especially after what happened in Cyprus.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No.
We'll just chalk that down to experience, shall we? That seems to be the common thing to do when something really, really fucks up big time. You just chalk it down to experience. Iain, comment from channel member Heather. A month ago, they'd have absolutely gubbed us. So the difference Philippe Clement has made is amazing. And I will take any opportunity I can to heap praise on our manager.
Definitely. I mean, the difference, you can actually see the difference already. What was it, 2-3 weeks he's been in at the club, and you can see it. There's a system, there's a start of a structure, there's a start of promising things going ahead. And if we can just melt it all for 90 minutes, we don't have to have tough little moments, despite fairly much being, like Stu said, being in charge the whole game. It's going to be brilliant going forward. I agree. I think Sparta, home and away, would have beaten us if the previous regime was still there. Considering the display we got in Limassol. So it's a massive, brilliantly great, I don't even know where I'm going here, turnaround. To walk away against this team who are dangerous, and they've given every team in this group, I think, a run so far. To get 4 points out of a possible 6 is fantastic, considering where we were a month or so ago.
Right, Stu, let's have a conversation, shall we? The first half, we'll touch on the goals, but the first half, I thought we were excellent, right? But I actually thought that we were excellent playing with less than 11 men. And I'm maybe going to single out 2 players. I'm not single them out. I don't think John Lundstrom ever actually started the game. And Lammers made some really good runs. But for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, every single time he got the ball, we pretty much lost it. So I think that first half, I thought we were excellent. We created loads of chances. We scored a couple of goals. We should have scored more. And that was us being excellent, I think, with 2 players missing.
Yeah, it was a funny one. I think Lammers, at least, I'm trying to like really reach deep for the positives here. He put himself about. I like that he's going into challenges now, which is something he never really did before. He's got good ideas and he's got good feet. It just doesn't happen for him at all. And I think there was one. Obviously, this is the second half. He plays out to Jack. He plays it off the pitch, which I actually thought was Jack's fault. And then immediately the ball comes back to him and he plays it behind Sema. And he just couldn't get anything going. Couple of nice touches, like you say, a couple of nice runs and good movement that created space, but on the ball, which is what he's paid for. That's what we brought him in for, right? He's supposed to be a talented ball player. He's clearly got a great effort on him because we've seen that he's both footed, but for some reason, when he's got the ball at his feet, it's sort of 2 times out of 10 he plays a really clever pass, and then the other 8 times he loses possession because it's just a real sloppy pass. Lundstrom. So I don't want to go into any negatives tonight because I'm feeling on a real high. But I thought he was an absolute disgrace tonight. If I'm completely honest, I thought he was horrendous all night. And Lundstrom's had some good games for us lately, but for me, we need to look at moving him on as soon as possible because his half-arsing attitude of, honestly, if we conceded the last-minute equaliser there, he'd have gone home and had a normal night. It wouldn't have affected him at all because it's just like he doesn't care when he's on the pitch. He's too easy to go past. He doesn't get back like he should. And again tonight, I don't know how many times we've said it. He just doesn't play to the whistle. He thought there was a foul and he just stopped and looked at the ref. And he does this so often where he stops and he waits for the ref to blow a whistle instead of playing on. And it's cost us goals before. So yeah, it was a little bit like playing with 2 men down, but the important part is we got through it, and it was a good performance overall. It's just I thought early on with taking those 2 early chances, we'd maybe sort of banish those demons that were, those we don't take our chances and we don't kill games off, and I thought we were going to do it nice and early this time, and we just made it a little bit hard on ourselves. But overall, excellent performance from 90% of that team today.
Yeah, and I'll take this to you, Ian, because it's Ian who spells his name the same way as you in the comments. And he's saying, look, that's not fair, Stu. Lundstrom has come on leaps and bounds under the manager. And I agree he has. But just my worry is that performances like tonight, and look, maybe I've read it wrong. Maybe Lundstrom played well. I'm just telling you what I've seen with my eyes. And maybe I'm wrong. And I'm happy for anybody in the comments to tell me that I am. But Ian, like I say, just from the first whistle, it was almost as if he was in a daydream. He wasn't reacting when he was getting the ball. He was slow. He was ponderous. And like I say, I don't want to come on after a fantastic win, and we will discuss the win, believe me, and we'll discuss Danilo, and we'll discuss Connor Goldson, who I thought was excellent. Jack Butland was great. Ross McCausland, when he came on, breath of fresh air, exciting, going to be brilliant for the future. But we'll get this out the road, and it'll probably be discussed more tomorrow night. But when Lundstrom has games like that, and the position that he plays for us, it could have been costly.
Particularly at this level. You can't have games like that at this level. There was a few times tonight where it's sort of the ball's being played around him and he's just sort of looking around in a circle trying to keep up with the speed of the play. And I think he got in the way a couple of times as well, as did Lammers. And it's just, it wasn't the Lundstrom that we've seen the last few weeks. That's definitely for sure. And like I said before we come on, I said the goal really affected him. Their goal really affected him. He seemed to just sort of go to pieces a little bit after their goal and started making decisions that were not what we've been seeing lately. He's not banished the ghosts of this season for him and last season. There are still scars, obviously, with this team going forward, but Lundstrom tonight, it just, compared to Sunday, it's chalk and cheese. I mean, Sunday he's busting a gut and one of the fastest players on the pitch. Tonight he just didn't look as if he knew what he wanted to do or had to do, and was poor. But can you expect it from him? Yeah. So yeah, he didn't play well. I mean, I know I've seen some comments saying he's getting talked up on TNT after the game. They must have seen a different game to what we've, or at least you and I have seen, Martin. I'm not going to talk for the other guys; they can make their own opinions on it. But
and listening, there's people in the comments saying that they thought he played well. And football's all about opinions. It's absolutely all about opinions. So yeah, you can only go on what you see. I can't come on and make stuff up, because I'm terrible at lying. So I can't do it. Andrew McDonald, channel member, has gifted 5 Rangers Rabble podcast member. I can't get my words out tonight. Podcast memberships. Thank you very much, Andrew. That is very, very generous. Thank you very much. Right, okay, Connor. Like I say, it's a massive positive tonight. We've won the game. First half, I thought, we started brilliant. We actually started a lot better than I thought we were going to. It's not a negative, but should Danilo have done better with that first chance when Cantwell plays it along the box? Does Cantwell play it with too much power? It just seemed to me as if, again, I'm going to use the same kind of phrase, but Danilo was just a wee bit slow to react.
I don't know. I think it's maybe a bit harsh because it is very, very quick for Cantwell. I'm not sure how much of that was, a pass for Cantwell and how much it was a shot. It was a bit of both. Because I think if he just opened the foot up Cantwell and just played it a bit more crisply, then he'd have got in just fine, Danilo, because you see by the time he's actually slid in, the ball's kind of already past him. I mean, yeah, obviously, if he's maybe further up in a better position, but then he could have been offside. So, no, I would say that one's more the pass not being quite there for Cantwell. But to be fair to Danilo, we've said it before, especially after the Dundee game. What he does is he's always in that area. He's always there to have those opportunities and sniff them out. And eventually he will score more of them than he won't if he keeps going the way he's going. We've seen that with the goal he gets. Yes, we're benefiting a bit for some sloppy play for Sparta, to say the least. It's madness to me when a defender does that, because it's come out to him, okay, the keeper's put him under a bit of pressure, but the last thing you do is turn back in that situation. Cruyff turned back and try and play a pass. If you have to kick it out for a throw and just regather yourself, that's what you do. He didn't do that, and Danilo's there putting the pressure on, doing what I haven't seen a Rangers striker do in a long time, it feels, and chasing down every one of those balls and putting them under pressure and asking the question, because teams like Sparta, who play out for the back, and a lot of teams do it now in the modern game, there's mistakes in them when you put them under that level of pressure. And tonight we've seen one of them. But aside from the mistake, I've got to say it's a lovely finish for Danilo, because he's come in and he's slotted it home on his left, and I think a lot of players there would have went with the right and hit it across the goalkeeper, or tried to go near post. and instead he's placed it in, and it's a great finish, and no more than we deserved for our endeavours at the start of the game, because we really were, we came flying at the traps in the front foot, and it's not something, we've seen for a while now. Us kind of have slow starts to games, and then maybe the first half nothing much happens, and then the second half we spring into life and we start creating the chances and start being a bit sharper. And I think under Clement in games so far, it's not been like that. We have started a lot quicker under Clement. I don't know what it is that he's done. I don't know if it's if it's a different energy drink he's got them drink or something. I have no idea. But we're coming out so much more confident in our own ability in these games. Yes, there are moments, obviously, we'll touch on a bit later, that can be tidied up. But that's what I want to see us do. Go and take it to them, and we've done that tonight, and it certainly paid off in the first half anyway.
Oh yeah, it did. But Stu, I'm giving all the credit to the first goal for Danilo. I don't care what the defender's done. It's the fact that, and we've seen it so early on, our press. I haven't seen us press that well in God knows how long. I don't even think, and it's so, short into the manager's time. I don't even think we pressed as good as that under Gerrard. Now maybe that's just the after-match, hype in my head, and I'm getting a wee bit excited in the head of myself. But Danilo, basically the whole game he was on, done that. And you get your just rewards.
Yeah, I think the first credit for me goes to Clement, because for me he's watched Sparta in what they do. There was I can't remember the lad. I'm going to forget his name now. Completely ruin it. But he's a guy out in Czech Republic, I believe, and he does all the graphics and the stats for the scout and stuff. And he put up the week before we played him at their place how Rangers can hurt Sparta, and he said Sparta will completely and intently play out from the back, and they will take risks to do that. They will 100% put themselves under pressure every single time to try and break a press. And Clement has obviously watched that, seen where we can hurt them, and obviously had Danilo. It's listen, it's still down to the players, but he's set us up, and you saw it wasn't just Danilo closing them down. It was Danilo would go, Sema would come across to cover a pass, and it was just done as a team. And that's what I always say about a press: if you don't do a press as a team, it's pointless doing a press at all, because you actually just take one player out of position and a good team will pass through you. So, yeah, first of all, I thought Clement is obviously set us up really well there. Danilo is done fantastic to actually pull it off. And then the finish as well, he gives the keeper the eyes, because for a right-footed player, that's so easy to try and bend that in the near post. And he's just comfortable to take it on his left, gives him the eyes, and then just rolls it in the bottom corner. And he sort of is becoming his little trademark in that game, at least, because he gave the keeper the eyes again later on when he hit the post. So superb all round. I'm falling in love with Danilo, I've got to be honest. He's absolutely excellent, and how he wasn't getting a start in the first place under Bill, I'll never know. There's also a little bit of Danilo trivia for you if you want it. He became our third South American to score in a major European competition. One is obviously Morelos. Who is the third?
Oh,
Go on,
right.
Ian's got it.
I'm gonna go with Emerson.
It's Emerson. I don't even remember Emerson scoring for us, but yeah, it was Emerson.
I mean, you could have let the viewers have a wee chance.
No, I've seen them on the quiz. Man, they're too good.
Yeah.
Just quickly saying that as well, just to give him a little bit of praise, because he's probably not going to get much.
Sorry, David Peace, but Stephen Dobson.
Oh dear. No, just because he'll not get a lot of praise for his performance tonight, but I did think with the first goal, Sam Lammers actually makes a really good run, which occupies a couple of defenders, because that plants the seed then and there. Is Danilo going to shoot? Is he going to pass? It's a very clever run that he's made. So I do think in that aspect, it's certainly an intelligent piece of play for him. So there we go. That's his compliment for them.
No, listen, and that was the point I made. I hate coming on here and slating players, especially after a fantastic win and, a really, really important one. But Ian, you can continue making all the great runs you want, but if you can't do anything on the ball when you're giving the ball away, and it's not making good runs isn't enough.
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, okay, makes the space for Cantwell to get his goal, and it's great. But other than that, that's all he did. a couple of touches here and there and a couple of good balls here and there, but over a 90-minute period, that's not anywhere near good enough.
It's not right, but we'll leave that there. We'll park that there. We'll go back to the positive stuff, Ian. And
Yes,
the first goal, like I say, Danilo, he makes his own luck with the pressing, absolutely fantastic. And then not long after, I suppose he gets the assist for the Cantwell goal. Again, fantastic finish for Todd. And you think after that, we're going to go and add another couple here before half time.
Well, at that point, it was 3 shots on target and 2 of them had gone in. And when was the last time that's happened for us? I don't know when the last time was. Like I said in the chat, what a time to be alive. And then we started creating more chances after. I mean, Cantwell's fake shot then into the split. I thought we'd actually sort of given up the chance by doing that, and then he just slots it in the corner. So a lovely finish. He had a one that the chance just before that as well, where he's sort of the awkward touch and then the sort of scissor kick volley. If that had gone in, then I don't think I'd have had any plates left. But he took his goal well, and you can't talk too highly of Cantwell. And if that, like someone said in the comments somewhere else earlier on, saying that if that's him only 75% fit, God help him when he gets 100%. The lad is just a quality player, and every single time that he does the good stuff for us, it makes it. I scratch my head even more as to why Norwich let that man just slip out the club for nothing.
No, it's mental, and it's absolutely mental. Look, there's a lot of people talking about McCausland. We will come on and talk about McCausland in a wee bit, because anybody who's a regular viewer on here will know how much I like to promote the youth and want to see youth getting a chance. If anything, I've probably gone about it a wee bit too much to annoy everybody. But what we've seen tonight is just so encouraging. It really, really, really is. Stu, a lot of people will say, if you obviously take the second half into consideration, that Sparta weren't great in the first half. They maybe underperformed, but I don't think that would be very fair on us. I think, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, Clement had a game plan, but it's all right having a game plan. It's for all or the majority of those players on that park to then go out and put together that game plan. And is that quite possibly the best complete first half performance we've had in God knows how long?
Certainly this season, from memory anyway. It was just, we were relentless, which is not something that we could said too often. Certainly not in the first half. Even under Gio and Beale, even under Gerrard towards the end, we just seemed to start games so slowly, and I don't know what it is, what crept into the club for it to be like this. We always seem to, the players need a rocket just at half time just to come out and actually perform. Today was completely different. We started fast. The players are playing to the game plan, and it's not just playing to the game plan. It's obviously players now understanding what Clement wants. He's had a lot longer with them in training now. It's been a couple of months. He's a couple of months, maybe not that long, but he's had long enough in training with them to actually get the ideas across now. And realistically, there's more to come. This is the very start of his reign, and there's going to be bumps in the road, of course, because that's how football is. No manager's going to have it perfect, but
Still
I think
unbeaten?
we're still unbeaten. I think we're in really good hands at the moment, and I'm more excited to see where he goes once he gets a window, 2 windows, I guess, January window and then the summer window, and what he can start doing when he refreshes the team a bit, because there's a lot of these players. We were literally sitting there saying, take Butland away. Have any of the signs been a success? And now we're sitting here and these signings are getting used, and they're getting used well. And I know, listen, a few people and myself have moaned about Lammers, but even Dessers, who's the whipping boy most weeks, I thought he come on and done really, really well when he come on. It's just it's night and day. Even getting Tav back performing, Goldson I thought was brilliant tonight, and I'm one of his biggest critics. It was just seeing these players, I don't know, there's like a little spark back in them. The thunder's back a little bit in a lot of these players, and it feels like they're going to enjoy their football under Clement, which is the main thing. If you don't enjoy your football, then you're not going to play well in games. And And it's like we had that little Cantwell-Rascan relationship, and I don't know if anyone, I don't know why I just called him Rascan either. The commentators are getting through to me. I don't know if you saw the little clip with Danilo and Cantwell at the end, but even them two seem to have this little relationship now, and that's what you want to see. You want to see these players building these, a little dancing in the corner and stuff like that. It doesn't look like much, but it's showing the relationship these players are building with each other. So just super positive at the moment, and really like I'm back to now dreading the international break because I just want more Rangers and I want more games as soon as possible. I honestly can't wait for the next one.
I know. The next international break is going to be gutting. Connor, in terms of tactics, now I'm not a tactics guy. I'm one of these guys that I'll start a football manager save and I'll get about 8 games in and then I'll start a new one because it's not going to be I want it, and it's just that vicious cycle. I just continuously start new football manager saves. I thought it was quite clever, but I thought we've seen a lot more long balls tonight than what we usually would. I know that Goldson, can hit a lovely diagonal as obviously can Davies, but we seem to use that quite a lot tonight.
We did, but I think that was clearly planned on the basis of how their defensive shape was, because they didn't look comfortable dealing with those balls over the top. And to be fair, what I would say is that Danilo, Sema, in particular, they were out muscling the Sparta defenders in a lot of those instances, as you would expect them to, because they're bigger players than them. And I think it was a very clever tactic, that we deployed. Let's cause them troubles, because sometimes, we all like watching, proper good passing football and pass move, one touch stuff. It's all great to watch, but sometimes you need to have the adaptability to just change depending on your opponent, because for some opponents we could have passed the ball around all night tonight and it might not have proved fruitless, whereas just unnerving their back line with a couple of long balls, even if they're not maybe leading to goals, but it's planting a seed in their heads constantly, every time they come forward, that they're being outmuscled in these challenges, and that they are starting to struggle with it, and you just knock them off their game enough, and I thought it did that tonight. It had the desired effect, and to be fair, it certainly helps when you've got players like Goldson, and Tav to a degree as well, and others who can play those long balls. I think in terms of a long diag, I think there's nobody better at the club than Connor Goldson for that. Some of the passes he can pull, it doesn't always pay off for him. Sometimes it goes wayward, but when he pulls it off, which I think he does more often than not, he plays smashing balls. And yeah, it was smart, and it shows a manager who's actually done his homework and understands the team he's playing against, and the kind of system and the way that they're going to attack the game and play, instead of just going out there going, well, fuck it, let's just see what happens. If they outplay us, hey, they're a better team. It's better. It's good proactive management.
And I'll just say, by the way, that is it Brian? I don't think it's pronounced Brian, but I'm going to say Brian Prisk, the Sparta Prague manager, has said that overall Rangers were the better side, particularly in the first half. We didn't defend or attack the way we can. So it's refreshing to hear a manager coming out and effectively saying, no, they were a better team, and they absolutely deserve to win it. Iain, on the build-up, excuse me, I mentioned that do we need to see a wee bit more from Sema? And I actually meant in terms of end product, right? I think people took it the wrong way. I think Sema's been excellent. I just meant in terms of that final third with the cross balls or the finishing. But forget cross balls and finishing tonight. I thought Sema was one of our best players. I thought he was excellent. I thought, see, just having that ability, and Alan McCoy's mentioned it a few times in commentary. And by the way, not being bitter, but how good is it having somebody commentating that actually understands football? Oh, it makes such a difference. But in terms of Sema, being able to run with the ball, he gives us so many options. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, he gives you that hard work 100% every single game. I mean, tonight on Sunday, okay, he wasn't in the game as much on Sunday, but the work rate that boy went through, and he did exactly the same tonight. Yeah, his crossing at times was ridiculous. I think at one point he got down the wing, beat the man, got the ball, looked like he was set to cross, and then booted it into Copeland. But he had to do the hard work to get into that position anyway, so we'll forgive him for that. And it's shooting boots. Maybe on another day he gets a couple, but overall, a fantastic. He's worked so hard. His work ethic, and everything. He's just up and down that left hand side, and he covers Borna quite well for most of the game. There was I think one point in the first half where the ball broke out to them, and there was just nobody there, and you're wondering where Borna and Sema were. But we got through it. I mean, he's still young in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we don't even play our youngsters at 22, 23 anyway. I mean, McCausland coming in is something unusual. So he's still young. He's got a lot to learn, but he can, at his age, be moulded into a better player. And the finishing and the passing, the crossing can only get better at his age. It can improve. Where, I mean, bless him, I love Sakala to bits, but there's no way that man was going to improve any further than what he was. So with Sema, we've got that. Unfortunately, will we actually have him long enough to do that? Will we be able to sign him? I don't think so. So hopefully, if we can get him on loan again, because you never know, these things do happen. But he was fantastic tonight, and one of the better players on the pitch, thankfully, because if he has a dull game on that side, I think Borna's under a lot more pressure than he actually was, and it gave Borna a nice, easy time of it, realistically, overall.
I mean, in Scotland, Stu, what Sema done tonight, we don't really have to rely on him doing that because we have so much of the ball and so much of the possession. But in terms of, nobody else in that park, I think, could give us what he gave us tonight, and that was basically an out. I think we've seen with Danilo. Danilo's fantastic with the ball at his feet, and he can score goals. I don't think his hold-up play is, the best. He can do it, but I don't think that's his natural game. Sema just gives you an option that we don't have.
Yeah, and certainly, like you mentioned, in Europe especially, because he gets that space in behind as well. You saw he's picked that ball up on the halfway line in the first half, right towards the end of the half, and he's just spun the lad, and he knows how fast he is, and that's what I love. Sakala did as well, to be fair. It's just he never really knew where the ball was going to go when he knocked it past someone. But Sema knows how quick he is. He knows he's got the pace on pretty much any defender he's going to come up against. And if he sees the space, he's very good at knocking it so far out of their reach to give him the distance to get to it, but also not too far out of reach that someone will come across and clear it. It's a really sort of big talent to have in a player. He's a big physical presence. He's strong. He's pretty good in the air. He's got a nice little touch on him. The only thing is, I'd like him to be a little bit more clinical if I'm really picking holes in it. The one today, he's sort of volleyed over the bar after he's taken it down really well. And then that other one in behind, and not just because I had him for another shot on target, but that one in behind where he shanked it. And I don't know how he's not hit the target is beyond me. But yeah, he's such a good player for us. He's such a big player. And like I said on the pre-match pod, even if he's not having a good game, he's such a threat to a defence. You've always got to keep an eye on him because it's a bit like a better version of Rabbi Matondo with that speed. When you have that asset, it doesn't matter if you're having a bad game. If the defence switches off once, you're in behind and no one's catching you. So they've always got to be aware. They've always got to be switched on. And it's just, it's a huge asset to have. And it's going to be very hard to replace him. I can't see any world where we sign him. I would love to, but I can't see any world where it happens. So it's already like the pessimist in me is already thinking, how do we replace Sema for next season? But just on another positive note, off of the back of tonight's result, unless a very, very specific set of results happen, our coefficient is guaranteed to be better next year than it was this year.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much on that. Right, I want to stay positive, so I don't want to say too much on the whole coefficient thing. Louis Martin, super chat, thank you very much. Treble and European final incoming, lads, great win. I love the fact that we don't get too ahead of ourselves after a win in Europe. It's superb, isn't it? You certainly wouldn't. I mean, I think the fact that the last game you won, I think I said we were going to win the quadruple. So there you go. Factiverse with a super chat as well. Thank you very, very much. Is the players, including Butland, Danilo, Cantwell, Raskin, and Dessers, may come good, show that Beale did some good at Rangers? Connor, I will take that to you. We have buried Michael Beale several times on this show. We have been upset with him. We've been angry. We have said a lot of things. But He did bring in Butland. He did bring in Danilo. He did bring in Cantwell, Raskin. We'll leave Dessers to the side now. But has he done some good for our football club?
Yeah, and maybe in terms of bringing those players in, then yeah, they're starting to work out now. But with the exception of Dessers, I think he's still got a bit to go. Although, actually, the wee cameo appearance he had, I didn't think he did badly at all. I think his hold-up play was pretty good. And the little way back for McCausland was some good play. McCausland misses, but no positives for him tonight. But look, yeah, bring those players in was good, but you've got to also remember, if you're seeing how good these players can be now with proper manager, that shows that Michael Beale might have seen they could be good players, but he had no clue how on earth he was going to get anything out of them that remotely resembled good performances. So, yeah, you can say a manager's done good by bringing players in, but then, every manager has players that they identified at work. I mean, look at Pedro Caixinha. Nobody's going to say he done a good thing for the football club. He didn't, but he did, however, manage to bring in a guy in Alfredo Morelos and Daniel Candeias at the time who were good players.
No, he didn't. Jonathan Johansson brought in Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, okay. Caixinha was the manager. Well, he brought in Daniel Candeias, didn't he? And he was decent.
No, he didn't. Chief Scout brought in Daniel Candeias.
Oh, okay.
Caixinha would have had to sign off on Morelos.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point I'm making. So you're going to get that. But it shows how lacking he was as an actual manager, that he couldn't get anything out of them in the times, because it's been a short time that Clement's been there. Being introduced a couple of months. It's actually been a couple of weeks. His first game was straight after the last international break, and also we're going to get another one very quickly. And he's come in and hit the ground running. Now, we all know there's going to be moments, and we're going to have a bit of patience. But ultimately, you couldn't have hoped for a better start. That being said, you could have said the same thing about Michael Beale when he came in. So,
but it was completely different under Beale. It was a completely different start under Beale for me. We were winning, but it never looked like it looks now. And you can probably go back to previous podcasts over the last 3 years, and I've probably said that about every new manager that's came in. But this one does feel different. Now, we don't usually do this on the reaction because we don't have the time. We usually leave this for just our normal either Monday phone in or Friday night show. But I'm going to bring this up really, really quickly. Iain, where are you on a battlefield, and where are you swinging an axe?
No, Hugster was just watching Braveheart and fell asleep.
Oh, you look so much like that bloke. It is unbelievable.
Hey, look, a film career is very short. So I'm down a level, and here I am.
Let me tell you, podcasts don't pay much, so your career must have went right downhill after Braveheart.
It doesn't get any better after that, does
it? Come to that. New channel member, Breezo, thank you very much. Who's been a member before, by the way, so welcome back, thank you. If you would like to become a member of the Rabble, then you can if you're on a desktop, which is a computer for you young people. Use the join button below the window. If you're on a mobile phone, get the link in the description. Click on that and you can become a member. And of course, you can help us by supporting our sponsors, NordVPN, the link for which is in the description. If you click on the link, you can get up to 63% off of a 2-year deal, plus there's loads of other deals there as well if you're in the market for a VPN. Stu, second half. Now, I wasn't expecting us to come out and it be exactly the same as the first half. You knew that Sparta were going to reply in some kind of way. But the second half, obviously they get their goal and we get our disallowed goal. We'll come to that in a wee second. The second half in general, though, was it as uncomfortable as it felt? Or once we get a chance to either watch the game back or have a kind of rethink, was it not maybe as uncomfortable as it seemed?
I was frustrated with our sloppiness at the start of the half. I thought we were wasting, and obviously, Lambers was doing it, but everyone was doing it. I think Tab gave away. Tab couldn't beat the first man from a corner again. He couldn't hit a cross in. He had that one where it was. I think we have a free kick and it ends up back at Tab somehow, and then he goes to clear it and he gets closed down. Lundstrom was having a couple of bad passes. Jack, Danilo, they were all just giving the ball away. And it was becoming really frustrating because you keep thinking if they get one chance and they score it, we're in big trouble here. And they did. They got one chance and they scored it. And I thought we're in big trouble here. But that said, I think if you watch the game back, it's probably not as bad as I thought it was. It towards the end, and I spoke about it at the start. It didn't. I didn't feel too much pressure, and obviously I'm usually like a bag of nerves. When they scored that goal, I was certain we were drawing 2-2. But in extra time or stoppage time, I didn't really have any nerves because we were just managing the game so well. And I just think it's probably a sign of how early into this project we actually are, and it is hard not to get ahead of yourselves because we had such an excellent first half, and every game we've seen positives, we've seen improvement under Clement. And like I said, there will be bumps in the road along the way. These players have had experience of, not throwing games away, but they've had experience of mad moments and conceding silly goals, and all of a sudden we've gone from 3 points to a point. So the fact that we didn't do that today, we looked confident towards the end of the game. That's a huge positive for me. So yeah, I think at the time it was a bit nervy because you just worry more.
You're in the moment, aren't you? You're
in
the moment.
And I think if you take a step back and I think if you watch that game back, that second half probably wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Like you say, a natural dip in the intensity because that's just what happens in football sometimes. But Prague, I don't think, offered enough to ever really deserve anything out of that game. Even when we were sort of giving up a bit of possession and dropping a bit deeper, I still don't think they did enough to really warrant anything out of that game. And I think Brian Prisker was pretty honest in his assessment of it when he said Rangers were the better team. And I think that just sums up the game. We were the better team and we got what we deserved. Maybe should have been a little bit clearer than we were, but we got what we deserved at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just an ultimate pessimistic person. So you can imagine when it's like watching a game with me, it's we're going to get beat. Oh, they're going to score 4. They've scored 1. They're going to. I'm a nightmare. I prefer to just sit in my own and watch the game. Just quickly, the fact of us coming back on his super chat. I didn't say he was a good manager. I said did he do some good, as in bring in good players. I think it's still too raw, just to admit that. It's basically the long and short of that answer. And, Ian Thompson, the second half, for a lack of squad players caught up with. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that, although we're going to come on to one of those players very, very quickly. But I've got quite a bit of housekeeping to do here. So, Bluebells are blue, gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very, very, very much. And we've also got another new member. Is that you, Dave, who's been a member before as well. So thank you very much for joining back. And Denzel Merrick, fantastic offer. And I've actually, and I'm not a big reader, and I've read most of his books. Fantastic offer. With a super chat, Lammers, is it working now? We've already sort of discussed it, but Ian, I'll take that super chat to you. Lammers, is it working now?
If he's not putting that $9.99 on to take that Lammers and have him at home, he can take him. I don't think Lammers is working now. And someone put in the chat earlier on, Lammers or Hadji, I'd swap them over in January and say, right, actually, we didn't give you Hadji, we conned you. This is Hadji, and take Hadji back and put him in Lammers' name and play him. I don't think it's working now. I don't think it's going to work. There's a player in there, but that player is not going to suit playing for us. It's an Italian Lammers. I mean, he struggled in Italy, but I think that's the sort of pace that he's more suited to, the rough and tumble of our league. It's not for him, so I don't think it's going to work. And no, he's not working now.
No, massive thanks there to Denzel. I can actually class him as a very good friend. He's a lot nicer to me than all yous anyway. Ian, Stu and Connor, he's much nicer to me than you guys. And quite a lot of guys in the comments. I'm getting stoned in the comments.
I paid for a taxi for you to get halfway across Glasgow for a drink once. I'm not having that.
Yeah, that's because you told me you were 2 minutes away and you wanted 2 minutes away. But yeah, their goal, Connor. You know, that way I'm sitting, and I don't know if it is just my own pessimistic mindset, but I was sitting, and as soon as you scored, you do that thing that most supporters do probably, where you say to yourself, no, that was coming.
No. I mean, I must admit, I personally, although we had a few sort of narrow moments to that point, we had kind of dealt with them, well enough in the end up. And I did think at that point we were maybe going to see out the clean sheet. But, I do think, to be just slightly critical in the defence, I think that goal's far too easy for Sparta Prague. I think it's a couple of passes and we're absolutely, at 6s and 7s. And you've got a player running in, 8 yards out for your goal, all sorts of space, and he can pick any spot in the net to finish it. As good as Butland is, he wasn't going to save that because, to be fair, and I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because I will not make an arse of myself. But when that boy came on for Sparta, he was probably the best change their manager made because he did look a bit of a threat. He had moments in the game he thought, he's not a bad player, this guy. And he steps on and scores a goal. But as I said, the defence has to be tighter. Turnovers poor, then he's come up winning, cut it across. And I don't know why the boy's got all the space in the world to pick the pass out in the edge of the box. That's unforgivable. To give him that sort of space. And we had a few wee warning shots earlier with those spaces open up. So I think it was kind of not so much a case of, that was coming, more a, right, what's coming next? Because, I was saying before this, it's the slight part of our game that we're still needing to just pick up a bit, as our confidence just seems to take an absolutely catastrophic hit whenever we can see the goal. And you've just got to be calm in that situation because you're still winning the game. Yes, we do get a ball up the park and we get a goal disallowed almost immediately after that. But once that decision's happened and then the players have settled themselves into the idea that it's 2-1 and all of a sudden you don't have as much breathing space, it's a bit of panic for the next 10 minutes and you're just kind of going, you just calm it down, play simple. There's no need to do anything rash because you're still in control in the game. You're going to concede goals, you're going to have setbacks, you've just got to deal with them. In the end, we did deal with it well enough and we did get the win. But again, it shows that our defence, I think, still needs just a little bit of work in those areas and a bit more confidence injected into themselves. Just because you concede a goal doesn't mean that that's it, it's the end of the world. Just dust yourself off, it's done. Move on for it. That's what they've got to do and have the confidence to go, fine, we've made one mistake there, we're not going to make another. That's the approach they've got to start taking.
That's how much the comments are affecting me. That Blue Nose Sparky says something and I move corner. But there you go. Iain Connor mentioned it. We got a goal pretty much straight after we conceded. The referee, linesman gave it. It went to VAR and it was chalked off. For me, correct decision. As painful as that is.
Overall, yeah. I mean, he's not meant it. It's accidental, but it's the correct decision. Took me a while to realise what was going on. And because I was in conversation with my daughter at the time because she was moaning about the goals, and then Danilo puts it in, and then she's getting excited, and I'm like, "Well, calm down, because I think VAR are having a look at this," and all that over Messenger, and then so I was like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on anymore." But yeah, correct decision overall. He does catch him, and that angle, because as Coisty was saying, it didn't look anything in it. There wasn't enough in it, and then he saw the angle the referee's going to see, and instantly, yeah, it's foul. And you can't. It's one of the soft variety, but as Chris Boyd once legendary said that one of my lights has just gone out. That you can have hard-boiled eggs and you can have soft-boiled eggs, but they're still an egg. So correct decision.
I mean, that is the perfect analogy. Iain saying correct decision, soft but correct. And Stu, John from the Isle of Man, Danilo was watching the ball, not the player. That doesn't make any difference.
No, it's completely accidental. He's never meant it in a million years, but he's unfortunately stopped the player getting the ball, and he doesn't mean to. But yeah, it's the funny thing is, I think if they don't accidentally sort of tangle, he probably still scores anyway because the player sort of got caught under the ball. I think he probably would have taken that down and maybe not had as much time. But yeah, laws of the game. It is a foul. it's unfortunate because it was a great response. I was literally moaning in the chat, and I thought, "Oh, never mind." He scored it because I just couldn't believe how quick it happened. Just one long ball took their whole team out of the game. It was crazy. But yeah, it was another calm, composed finish. Just a shame it got, because I think that would have absolutely killed them, and I think we'd have probably gone on to score one, maybe two more after that. If you kill a team off, like their comeback off so quickly, just made it a little bit more nervy for us. But yeah, absolutely a foul.
And Stu, probably not the biggest positive from the night, because the biggest positive was obviously the win. And it's only maybe 3 or 4 occasions, but Ross McCausland, if you're trying to get a place in that team, that is exactly how you do it when you come on that park. I didn't even realise his passing was that good.
Yeah, and I was the same. I thought he come on, and I thought he needed to come on, and my dad was texting me because he was like, "How's Lammers still on the pitch? I can't believe this. He's going mental." And I was like, "Look, to be fair, Cantwell, as good as he is, he runs himself into the ground, right? And that's why he comes off when he comes off, because he's literally got nothing left in the tank." McCausland, I thought, was just going to come on, give us some energy, and the first thing he does is play an absolute wonder ball through to Danilo, and we probably should go on to score from there. Really, he was excellent. Everything he did was just it. It was like I said before on the pre-match pod. I didn't know if McCausland's at this level because we haven't seen enough of him. But what he will bring is that rawness, and he's not sort of inhibited by, being almost, I shouldn't really play that pass. I should turn out and look for him. He plays the pass he thinks is the correct pass, and 9 times out of 10 that is the correct pass, and the weight of the ball was sensational. Almost got himself a goal as well. It was a really good save from the keeper down with his feet, because that's nestling in the bottom corner. And yeah, he was just like a little, I don't know, he was just like a little terrier, wasn't he? He just wouldn't leave players alone, nipping at their heels, and every time he got the ball, he looked to make something happen. And yeah, like you said, if you're trying to stake a claim from the bench, I think you can't do much more than he has done tonight. And at the very least, I think we'll be seeing him come off the bench a lot earlier in the next game, if not maybe in with a shout of starting it. But the future looks pretty bright at the moment. We've got a manager that is obviously willing to play youth, willing to give him a chance. And we've seemingly got some really good youth players coming through. And obviously we've already talked about King, and listen, we don't know what's going to happen with Lowry, but we know he's a talented boy. We've got Bailey Rice, we've got McCausland, we've got Lovelace. There's a lot of talent in that youth team. That Aaron Lyle, I'm probably going to miss out some here, but a lot of boys now that have really got a chance to push on, because I think Clement will give them their chance if they want it enough, and they go and show the sort of desire and impact that McCausland showed tonight.
And he almost, I think it was Herenveen. I think we tried to send him out on loan while he was in the B team, and I think I don't know what happened, but he ended up not going out on loan. And if you had asked me who's going to break through first and possibly have a chance under either obviously Beale or now Clement, I would have had Aaron Lyle, I would have had Bailey Rice, I would have had Lowry, I would have had Lovelace ahead of Ross, and it just goes to show you never know what's going to happen. And the beautiful thing, Connor, about having a youth player come in, not for every youth player, but it's that confidence, that not giving a fuck, that I'm going to play that pass, I'm going to make that run, I'm going to cross that ball, and I'm going to shoot for there. There's no fear.
No, but exactly. He's got nothing to lose in the game himself. He's going to be able to prove what he's capable of, and to put himself in Clement's mind for a start, because for me personally, he's edging ever closer to be starting in a game. I don't think he will start against Livingston, because again, I would not be against it at all. I'd be quite happy if he did, because of how he's been playing. Because the pass he plays through to Danilo, that's the kind of pass that Tav used to play a few years ago. When he was really hitting his best form. Just absolutely splitting the defence open. And to be fair, Danilo should probably square it to Sema earlier than he does, but see, when he doesn't, maybe he's got to then take an extra touch and just have the shot himself at that point. And McCausland gets an assist. I just hope and I don't know if the guys would agree, I hope with McCausland that we don't do a similar thing to what we've done with Nathan Patterson, and that we just take the first really good offer we get for him, because whilst, yeah, at the time, you know, £12 million, I get why we accepted it, but there was so much more we could have got out of Nathan Patterson. And look what's happened when he's went to Everton. He's done next to nothing. You know, he's had some games here or there, but it's not really worked for him as much as you'd like. And
there goes the internet. I'm going to just jump in straight away because we know what happens here. And he always blames it on the VPN, but it's no. He's just too cheap to get decent internet. We'll bring Connor back in when he comes back, Iain. But I suppose a negative from tonight was in the very, very, very final stages of the game. Connor Goldson picks up a yellow card, which means he's now out of the next European game.
He did, and I know that not everyone's going to agree here, but it was definitely a booking in my eyes. The only thing that saves him from the booking, and in the old days, it probably would have saved him from a booking, is if the flag goes up straight away. That doesn't happen, and that's where that rule frustrates the hell out of me. Because if it's offside, it's offside. Just give it. I understand why they do it, and I know the rules have changed, but that was the only thing that would have saved him, is if the flag went up earlier. But overall, it was a booking. But as you alluded to before we came on, at least it's not Betis we're heading off to next. It's Limassol at home. So,
and you do know that by actually saying that on the podcast, that's going to come back and bite us in the arse. That's why you say it before you come on.
Well, we like to be a meme every now and again. I don't think I've been one yet.
I'm just saying, if we drop points now against Limassol, it's all Ian's fault.
Well, yeah, I'll take it. I'm big enough.
100% all Ian's fault. Right, okay, Stu. So in terms of the group, then that win tonight, it almost basically guarantees us European football after Christmas, whether that be Europa League or conference. But you would like to think, you would like to hope now that we're going into that final game against Betis already through.
You would think so. Yeah, like you say, we're almost guaranteed Europe. As I said earlier, there's a very specific set of results that have to happen. That is, we have to lose to Aris, and Sparta have to beat Betis. Then we have to lose to Betis, and Aris and Sparta have to draw with each other. That's the only way we can finish bottom of this group. We can draw at Aris and be guaranteed our place. At Aris, at Ibrox, against Aris, we can draw that game, and if Betis win against Sparta, we're through. So there's a few ways of us being able to finish second quite comfortably. But the main thing is we should be going out and winning that game anyway, because we've got a few wrongs to put right after that performance away from home in Cyprus. So we've definitely got to go and show that we're a much better team than that, and I think we will. Win that game, you're guaranteed to be through, and then you've got a small chance of maybe topping the group. We've already beaten Betis, so we
totally agree. By the way, my head's gone.
We have the advantage of the head-to-head record if we do beat them. So we'd finish top on any sort of. I don't even know if it can go down to goals or anything. First place, I don't see why it isn't realistic. If I'm completely honest, we beat Aris. We may need, maybe we get a result, Sparta and Betis, we don't know. But either way, we go out and we win our last two games. It's not going to be easy going away from home and winning in Spain. But
Stu, basically, we beat Aris, right? And if we beat Aris and Betis and Sparta draw, we're guaranteed second.
I think if we beat Aris, is it not regardless we're guaranteed second? Yeah, we are, because Sparta are 3 points behind us, and we've got.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, we are. Yeah, we beat Aris, we're guaranteed.
I've just hurt everyone's heads even more, so there you go.
Absolutely fried my noggin there, man. That's absolutely gone. Right, okay, that's been an hour, folks. It's now 11:10. I guarantee you most people are dying to go to their bed. Before that, I will give one shout out. If I can find the comment. There's so many comments. There we go. Ian Dow. Praise the Union Bear banner. It deserves a shout out. Pure quality. Connor, they never fail with the banners. And it was, and I caught it. Obviously, we just finished the build up and I managed to just catch it. Phenomenal.
What did it say? Sorry, I missed it.
He's an absolute nightmare of a man.
I never seen the build up. I literally got back in and tuned into the game just as it was
anybody see the banner? Yeah, Stu, help me out here.
I'm not even on mute. Sorry, I was trying to take myself off mute. Yeah, no, it was a tremendous banner. Actually, it looked absolutely amazing, and you see a sort of, as the players line up, you saw a few of them sort of pluck it and look over at it, and I think even not just our players, it was an amazing thing for the players to see that the fans are with them, blah blah blah. But you know, the away team coming into that atmosphere and that huge tifo up on the stand, it's so daunting, and it's a daunting place to come anyway. They were discussing it in commentary, like the Sparta themselves were saying, or the Czech media with themselves were saying how difficult a place Ibrox is to go, and things like that just add to the atmosphere and add to the whole feel of it. So I completely agree with Martin. They never miss with the banners and the tifos. It was absolutely excellent tonight.
And that must have cost an absolute fortune, by the way. That must have cost an absolute fortune. Okay, so we'll leave it there, folks. We're back tomorrow night. It's either going to be 7 or 7:30. I'm not 100% sure on the time yet, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I will be putting it out on the community page exactly what time the show's going to start at tomorrow. Give the show a like as well if you haven't already. The more likes it gets, the more it's shared throughout the YouTube algorithm. And stuff. Massive thanks to everybody who put in a super chat for helping to support the pod. All the new members that we've got, all the guys that gifted out memberships, superb. Everybody in the comments, all your comments are absolutely fantastic. Sometimes they put me off, I'm not going to lie, because I read them and I start laughing and I forget what I'm going to talk about, but they're absolutely fantastic. We've got such a good community here on the Rabble. It really is. It's phenomenal. So like I said, if you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on all the socials. The links are in the description. Click the link in the description for NordVPN. Have a look at their deals if you're looking for one. But by doing that, you help support the podcast. Stu, Iain and Connor, thank you very much as ever for joining me, especially at this late at night, because I know it's well past Stu's bedtime. And Ian's got that plate and he's ready to use it. And Connor wants to finish that 6-litre jug of juice that he had. So thank you everybody for tuning in. A great result for Rangers. We're almost there in the Europa League. We're one of the, I know Aberdeen got a draw, but we are the team flying the flag in Europe as per usual for Scotland, and helping along with that coefficient. And long may our continued success in Europe, bar last season, we'll gloss over that, continue. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll speak to you again very, very soon.